We're hearing private member statements. I call the member for Newcastle.
Thank you, Mr Acting Speaker. I rise today to speak of the environmental emergency that continues to unfold at Stockton Beach. You may remember that earlier this year I spoke about this topic as a matter of urgency and asked that the Minister of Environment come and visit the beach and speak to the locals who are scared that their beloved suburb may soon become an island due to the rate of erosion. Well, Minister, the situation has not resolved itself but only gotten worse, as it will continue to do so until you give it the attention it so sorely needs and deserves. However, this situation has taken such a turn that I now need to approach another minister, the Minister for Crown Lands. The issue of most concern is the exposed old Stockton tip that sits on the beach at Stockton. This tip sits on two sites, one site owned by Hunter Water, the other site owned by Crown Land. Now, let me make this very clear. Now it's come to light there are two pieces of land that cover this tip and two state government agencies. We've now discovered that only one agency is in the process of remedying the site. The other, incredibly, is not. On the Crown Land side, there is a cover of geofabric material to stop the waste from flying out into the wind and water. On the other side, Hunter Water have moved 10 metres of offending material back beyond the reach of the water. The cover on the Crown Land side was meant to temporarily contain the waste until the authorities took care of the clean-up, but past weekend's wild weather has uncovered the load. Stockton locals have contacted me with photos of the waste on the beach and asked me what is occurring with the clean-up. I was under the impression Hunter Water had been in charge of the clean-up, so I contacted them yesterday. I was told that Hunter Water had removed their refuse from the land back from the shoreline by 10 metres. However, the rest of the tip crossed over into land owned by Crown Lands. So now, as Crown Land had not had the refuse removed, it was now washing into the ocean. So my question is this: why? When Hunter Water got onto the clean-up earlier this year, why was Crown Lands not on the other side of the tip doing their job? Hunter Water crews have been regularly inspecting and maintaining the covered waste on their land, but the mess on the other side of this tip remains unmaintained and a risk to residents and beachgoers. What is going on, Crown Lands? This is an absolute failure of a clean-up and an absolute failing of this government. The tip on land owned by two different government agencies. How can the government fail to coordinate a clean-up effort on an environmental mishap of this size? How is it that Hunter Water realised the extent of the job and got organised to tackle the challenge, but Crown Lands didn't? Why was no team formed in the same way Hunter Water and a crew put on the site? For all we know, there may still be extremely hazardous building material on the Crown Lands site, including asbestos and hydrocarbons. Minister Toole, would you like to come and inspect the old Stockton tip on Stockton Beach? I call on you to take some action and put a stop to this deteriorating situation. How about demanding your agency take immediate action, form a team and get out there as a matter of urgency? We now have three ministers in this government responsible for this old tip and the destruction of part of Stockton's beautiful beach. We have one acting on the situation for Hunter Water, one looking away in Crown Lands, and a third looking away, that being the Minister for the Environment. But more on her later. This beautiful beach is being turned into a hazardous space where no one can tread for fear of harm from refuse from the old tip. Minister Toole, I implore you to take control of the situation and ask your agency to act now as a matter of urgency. Why has Hunter Water done the work but Crown Lands not? Just as a side note for the Minister for the Environment, we've been circulating a petition to save Stockton Beach for some months now, and at the moment we're just 200 off the 10,000 signatures that we need in order to force a debate in this Parliament. The debate will focus on Minister Upton's absolute apathetic snub to the people of Stockton. She has had her head in the sand for over the past 12 months now. Her failure to progress coastal management reforms have resulted in Stockton starting to wash away under her watch. We will, just as we did with the Newcastle buses debate, be sending Stockton residents and businesses affected by this arrogant government so they can have Minister Upton finally face them and explain to them the reasons for her terrible inaction.
I'd like to thank the member for Newcastle. We're hearing private member statements.